What up, fam?
Howdy. So it's the Growth DataScience GitLab staff meeting, the first one of 2023. So good stuff. We may have our my GitLab shadow, Anshul Rial, join us today. He's a GitLab community contributor hero, Phil. And we opened up the program to our community contributors, amongst others. So good stuff. So somebody want to read Mark's announcement since he's not here?
I've got it.
Go ahead.
All right. So Dinesh has been in vulnerability research. This is 1 year of him being with us. So glad he's here. Happy GitLab-versary, as we like to write and say. So glad he's here. It's fun working with him.
Also, a belated Happy New Year to everybody. It's belated, but better late. So other celebrations, it was fun to brag about the browser-based DAST, Dynamic Application Tester, on GA, General Availability on Social. Neat stuff there, got a good response, and just, I love talking about the great stuff the teams are doing. So great work by the dynamic analysis team and the vulnerability research team. I'm planning to do the same, bragging around the leaked PAT revocation, where the blog actually just went up today. So great work by Hummer and others who worked on that. Under news and events, the annual comp review process starts on January 9th. So be ready to start engaging on that. Thomas, you have a comment on that?
I'm highlighting something that's buried a couple of clicks through from Juliana's section on the in that agenda, and that there is a level up training session that's been put together from Total Rewards that talks about compensation fundamentals. It takes about 15 minutes to complete. It's not really new information, but pay is always a hot topic. It's something that everybody is extremely vested in. So how everything is structured is worth reviewing before we get into compensation conversations with folks. So I just wanted to make sure that that was highlighted. Yep.
And if you do that training on Firefox, you're going to have some glitches with the embedded content. So just refresh a couple of times and retry and you get through. If not, ask me and I have the direct link to the embedded content.
I did the training this morning, and I had the same issue, but overall it's good stuff. Neil's got a comment, and make sure, yeah, I don't see Neil here today just yet. So somebody want to verbalize Neil's comment?
Yeah, I'm happy to grab that one. Let's see. Each week, Thomas and I report on our group health at the engineering allocation meeting. We do this for all groups within SEC, growth, and data science. Take some work to gather the supporting data even more if there are follow-up questions. We're trying a new issue format out in an effort to optimize and create a self-reporting mechanism. The goal for this issue is to be a weekly single source of truth for our departments, and then Thomas and I can easily take the pertinent information to the allocation meeting. Issue for this week linked here.
So I'll summarize the back and forth Neil and I had async on this. Is we want to make sure that it's great to use an issue for coordinating this and gathering information. We do need to have a summary for that meeting, which is then discussed, or we go async in the meeting or discussed if there's questions or anything to highlight. So just pointing at the issue is not good enough. Also, having a meeting on the first business day of the year to prepare for, based on data from over the break, is surely hard to prepare for. So, Thomas, you did a great job and somewhat last minute of collecting and presenting the data in that meeting. So it overall went well. So, good stuff there. And Olivier, it looks like you have a comment.
Yeah, this is actually a question from Thiago in the issue, but maybe worth highlighting here about the day on which we should report that data, because this is an issue stated from the 9th, but if we provide the data today, it might not be as relevant as next Monday, for instance. So just to clarify, what's the expectation on the precise day when we need to report the information?
I'll put in my preference since I'm one of the two people that put this stuff together. This meeting is Tuesday midday US East Coast time. So data collection for me is my Monday afternoon. And so my request, everybody, your Monday morning, if this is something that's just become part of your routine, that would be very, very helpful. And it would keep it pretty fresh. And so this way we're not going through engineering allocation budgets, then over to separate issues, looking for overdue infradev issues, and then going to SciSense to figure out security reports, over to security issues. I mean, it takes time to collect all of this. So this would be extremely helpful.
I'm commenting that maybe the US Monday might be a better choice, or the Pacific, because if I do it on my Monday, you're going to include the weekend, which is usually quieter. So it could give you a false reading.
By definition, since they're 28-day and 7-day error report, don't they all include weekends?
But you get it averages out, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna kick out. Yeah. I'm easy, but
Yeah.
what happened this week is if I had done it on Monday, it would have been 99 in budget. And if I do it now, I think it's over budget. So
Thing is, we'll
take it offline on the issue, maybe.
No, it's good thing to discuss. We often have soft due dates for things. This is not soft. The meeting is on Tuesday. It gets discussed on Tuesday, America's time. I think it's 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. So if the data is not there, it doesn't get included. So it's not a soft deadline. It's not a soft due date. It's a hard due date, or the data doesn't get included. So keep that in mind. When Thomas and Neil have been collecting it, they would collect the latest data and put it all together. But now we're getting better data, and along with context from the people who know it best, which is great. It's hard to coordinate that across. There's 9 people, 10 people across the various teams that get it all in there in time. So I think the new process that Neil and Thomas came up with is better than what we had. Just keeping in mind the due date. So overall good stuff. Always like iterative improvement on things. So please, in B here, please be mindful of the due date for doing the performance review discussions with your team members. They should all be complete and marked as such in Workday by January 31st. Question: how are folks planning to do the discussions with their directs? I was just working on preparing some of that since one of my directs is going to be out a good bit of January. I wanted to prepare in advance, and so I got a little bit of a head start on it. And I wait, Workday. There's multiple ways to do it. I can copy the data to a Google Doc by copying and pasting. It's a bit of toil, but that would allow people to review the async. I could do screen sharing during the review meeting. That's less toil, but doesn't allow for async in advance. I don't like that for that reason. Or releasing it in Workday in advance of the review meeting. That's the less toil, allows for async review. People can see it in advance, but that's not the process we're supposed to follow. I'm not sure it creates any problems or not. So what are others planning to do or haven't thought about it yet? Olivier, it looks like you have the first comment.
Yeah, I really like the third approach. I'm used to sharing the document that used to be a Google Doc in the past years in advance with my engineers. I mean, this is the least surprise approach. They know what will be discussed. They have the time to react to it and prepare for it. Screen sharing during the meeting doesn't give, at least for some of my engineer, particularly, it really doesn't work for them. They need to have time to review that on their own before being able to react correctly to it. So I'm really eager to see if there's any issue or problem going that route, because this is definitely not what is recommended in the guidelines. because I would definitely try that one.
This does not involve the comp discussion, right? This is just the performance discussion. Where this is gonna be my first time doing it as a manager, so I will be taking notes from y'all for sure.
It's performance only compensate.
Um,
Did you have a comment, Mom?
yeah, but I think mine is very similar to Tiago. So everything was already sort of transparent. The most of it was all what was put in work there was already shared. And then just more to kind of go through a lot more details with the calibration.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the, figured it'd be a good thing to press the cop for. I was curious what others were planning to do or already have done. I'm not recommending that you do it a specific way. I'm just asking so I can learn from y'all. So in the hallway, sorry, I have so many things, a lot of announcements built up over the last couple of weeks since we haven't met in a couple of weeks due to all the time off. Consider updating your one-on-one and similar documents for a 2023 version and save the old data elsewhere. Makes it easier to work with the documents. The bigger they get, the harder they are to view and edit. Maybe even do it twice a year rather than once. You know, getting too big starts maybe at about 6 months or 100 pages. Anybody want to read Mark's async comment?
Sure. Let's see. This definitely was the issue about a year ago. I was just thinking of slicing a new year for the VR team document, but then I figured GDocs actually became much faster since then and doesn't load the entire document. Would anyone be able to confirm the same? Do you still keep like 2 weeks of history or something like that?
Yeah, the bigger the doc, the slower it is for me. I don't know if it is for others. I've heard others complain, not anybody in this call. I've heard some of my peers complain. Maybe because I'm using Firefox and it works better in Chrome. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But
I've only been here for 2 years. I don't think I've got a one-on documents big enough, but the engineering week in review definitely gets big enough that you can see grinding gears and struggling. So no, I haven't experienced it.
sorry, just something to consider. So let's see here. As a read-only, did you have one other item? Thiago, before we go off public and talk about one confidential item? Oh, you're just writing what you wrote, what you said. Okay, cool. So I'll stop with one confidential item